All right, here we go. We finally made it to the finish line of this lookout. Like I said, it is Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow. And like I said, it's going to be an interesting matchup. All the work, all the hard blood, sweat, tears, and circumstances leads to the big game. The Seattle Seahawks, the New England Patriots. They meet again, just like they did in 2014 season, Super Bowl 49. This is Super Bowl 60, tomorrow, Santa Clara. The game is on NBC this year, and we will all hopefully watch. I don't know about you, Matt, but I'll be watching with my buddies and all that. And like I said, we'll see what we can come up with. I have a lot to talk about in a short time, so we'll get into it. But before we start this, the Super Bowl preview of the game, the Eagles, like I said, Matt wasn't on here the other day. We were talking on the look back, Kwame and I, we were talking about the Eagles have finally made changes, finally found an offensive situation. Sean Mannon, I think, from Green Bay, is going to be the new offensive coordinator, the new leader of the offense. He brought in a few other guys, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that situation. But there's a lot of question marks going into what this new offensive coordinator is going to be able to work with, because this roster obviously will look – the offensive roster will look a tad different come September. Might be some guys that are off this team naturally if they sign elsewhere or traded, and we'll probably get some new blood in here. But I know that Howie Roseman is not no dummy. He'll make the proper decisions and he'll make the proper moves. So when we get to week 1 in September, we'll be ready to go with whoever it is. I know Jalen Hurts will be back and Saquon. That's about it. Everybody else is pretty much open season. Those are the only two that I know are guaranteed to be back, unless they have injury issues. So, Matt, your thoughts on what's been going on with the Eagles front office or coaching situations here the last couple of weeks?
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, Devontae Smith will definitely be back too.
Oh yeah, sorry about him. My bad.
Yeah, but yeah, in like 5 minutes here, I'm going to have to mute you for a couple minutes, but no big deal. I'll be right back after that. But yeah, for this, I mean, there's some good things about the hire, but there are some things that have recently happened, rumors and stuff, and things that have already happened that kind of have me a bit nervous about the future of this team and why some of this is happening. So, I mean, talk about the Mannion hire real quick. I like it overall. I mean, just like everyone else, I wanted a more experienced guy that's actually shown he can call plays, but we obviously weren't getting that. None of the experienced play callers wanted to come here. They had a better options, I guess. So we had to go for a younger guy, and I mean, they say he's really smart. I mean, we've heard that before. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, they said that about Patullo. They said that about Sean Desai. So just being smart doesn't necessarily mean you can call plays. But the good thing, I mean, I think the guy will do all right, man. I'm right off the bat. He's a former quarterback, played in the league for a while. He's worked under really good offensive minds. He played under McVay and Kevin O'Connell, worked under LaFleur. I mean, they're kind of expecting him to have more of a McVay type of offense, which is what I've been calling for years. So we'll see, but it's going to be whether or not he can call plays. I mean, Patullo could scheme the first 15 plays and do all right, but once he actually had to do something like actually start calling plays for real, he was a failure. So, I mean, just being smart or just being a good like position coach like Brian Johnson, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a good coordinator. So he's gonna have to prove it. And they did bring in Josh Grizzard to be the passing game coordinator, I think it was. And he was the Bucks offensive coordinator last year, which you did. Oh, that's not very good. I mean, you know what? That offense was pretty good until Baker Mayfield went down, and they had a ton of injuries before that, and they were still good. Mayfield was playing at an MVP level, so I mean, he got banged up, and his play fell off big time. And I think Grizzard kind of got a bad rap for that, but I mean, he worked underneath Liam Cohen. The whole reason they promoted him to offensive coordinator, the Bucks did last year, is because they were looking to have somebody who's going to run a Liam Cohen type offense and have sort of the same sort of system. So, I mean, I like that they're going out and getting offensive guys that come from good schemes, you know. And it's not just, oh, we're going to go hire some retread nobody like Doug Peterson or Frank Reich, guys who have proven that they were, had a little bit of success for a couple of, well, they had success for a couple of years, but a little bit of success in the league, and like they really were just frauds. I mean, let's be real. Frank Reich hasn't done anything other than 2017 and his first year, 2017 and 18, I guess. Other than that, he's been terrible. And Doug Peterson has shown that he's a horrible coach, and he's never called plays anyway. So anyone that was saying, "Oh, let's get these guys," that would have been awful. It would have been a disaster. Um, so there's that. So there was, I mean, I do like that part, even if it wasn't the exact way we were looking to go originally. But there are some things that have been going on that have me nervous, man. And I'm not an insider, so I don't know exactly where it's coming from. But I mean, right off the bat, Jeff Stoutland leaves the team.
Yeah, that was
Um,
surprising. I did not see
yeah,
that coming.
yeah. I mean, they said supposedly they already took away. Well, I mean, they already took away his run game coordinator title, so he might have been upset about that. Maybe he doesn't think he can work with Mannion, like Mannion's scheme. I don't think that's an issue because he's worked under a bunch of different schemes and he's been highly successful. But maybe, but then Fangio, he almost retired. He was threatening to retire. They like for now they got him coming back for another year. Um, Now all of a sudden we're hearing Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson are both considering retiring. We already know AJ Brown wants off the team, which he's wanted for a while. But I mean, I actually saw it in a thing. He was on a podcast the other day. He was talking. They were asking about the Mannion hire, and he was all excited. Like, so I don't know if he actually wants off the team now or not. But either way, all these guys that are looking to leave, these big time like players and coaches for us, like something's going on with this team, man. I don't know if it's the front office. I don't know if I mean Howie Roseman's been here. I mean, Stoutland's worked with Howie Roseman since he got here. It's not like he's some new guy. Same with Lurie. I mean, the only thing I would think of, and you probably know where I'd go with this, is especially with like highly respected coaches like Fangio and Stoutland, when your boss above you is a complete clown moron, uh, it's hard to really enjoy your job. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about Nick Sirianni. you know, I mean, when you're like a good when you do a great job at your job and your boss is a complete joke, like he's like basically like Michael Scott in The Office, and you got to work under that, and you got to answer to him, and he put up with his shit if like something doesn't go right. Like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Shut the fuck up. So, I mean, that would be my first inclination for what is going on with this team, why the coaches all of a sudden went off on top of like star players. I think this guy just look. They won a Super Bowl with him, great.
We won one
But
with
when your
Dougie
head
G and got fired.
exactly, but that's also the downside. I mean, you can't just fire him right away. You got to give him a chance to prove to be successful again. I mean, he's been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years, so
Yeah,
you can't just
that's the
can
sad
after a
thing.
bad year. Yeah, so it kind of has the front office hands for it. I think they're really hoping that maybe Mannion can really take this offense to a new level, and maybe they can just make him head coach and get rid of Sirianni in the near future. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. All these guys, all of a sudden, there's all these rumors of all these people that are going to consider retirement now, and that has me nervous. And yeah. I mean, bottom line, when your head coach needs a babysitter, that's a problem, you know. So um, yeah, we got. I don't know. Well, maybe we'll hear some more stuff over the next couple months about what's really going on behind the scenes. Um, so that
Well,
being said, I'm going to put you on mute for a minute, all right? And I'll be right back. But yeah, if you want to talk a little bit, I can hear you. I just can't talk for a second.
yeah. Well, like I said, when Kwame and I talked the other day, we obviously brought up a few things going on. Like I said, we're happy about the hire. I mean, yes, he comes from that, McVay and Kevin O'Connell and Sean, LaFleur. They were all once assistant coaches together. I think the Vikings coach was on McVay's coaching staff, and I think LaFleur was before they became head coaches themselves. Obviously, that means the offense will be better. But one of the big issues we did talk about the other night was we know why Patullo sucked too. And it's not just because he couldn't call plays, because he couldn't. It's the fact that he had no creativity. His playbook was a joke. And when you don't have that kind of mindset to help this team in a tough matchup, that's why this team wasn't going to go far at all in the postseason. I mean, all you have to do is watch what the game where was it Juwan Jennings threw to McCaffrey the touchdown. We didn't have none of that in our playbook, in the offensive playbook, and that's why we lost that game because of Patullo's not being good. Now, obviously, you bring in Mary and all these guys, and it should be better. It should be much better. But obviously, you know, it's obvious that Sirianni, your instincts could be right, man, about Sirianni. He is becoming a kind of a peasant. He is. I don't know what's going on. I mean, he is one of those odd scenarios where he was a great. He's this era's a much better version of Rich Kotite, and I say that because Rich Kotite was another kiss ass and mealy mouth kind of coach, and he had a great team. He inherited a really really good football team that should have won at least one championship or at least got in the position to be in a Super Bowl. But the owner was also an asshole, just like the coach. The owner was an asshole, and then you lose Reggie White, and then before that the other guy. I mean what's his name? The guy got killed, and then everybody started leaving, and then things were changing, and that's what happens. And you know, like I said, you gotta clean the crap out eventually for long term success. And I look. I don't know what's going to happen with AJ Brown. I have no idea what's going to happen with a lot of guys. The Dickerson thing is surprising because he hasn't played in this league that long, relative. I don't know, what is this, his 8th season, 7th season? I don't even know how many years he's been in the league. He hasn't been in the league as long as, obviously, as whatchamacallit, Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson's already a Hall of Famer, you know, and he's gonna be in a Canton down the road. So hopefully everything's good. I don't know if Dickerson's just going to retire right away unless he has injuries or something else. But the Stoutland situation is shocking. I did not expect that to happen. Now, there's a lot of reasons, but right now everybody just want to keep their mouth shut until everything gets comfortable there again to explain what's going on. But the Stoutland thing is shocking. But the Mekhi Becton loss was a huge loss on the offensive line, as you would know. him walking away was probably one of the big mistakes of the offseason. So, I mean, now he wants to come back. He didn't have a good time in the chart with the Chargers, so he wants to return. Hopefully, he does return, and that could obviously help. But they've already moved on from Stoutland, so it's a completely new offensive setup. So I don't know what's going to happen there. And like I said, I mean, we're going to see what happens here. But I know that the goal is to make Jalen Hurts a Pro Bowler. Well, he was a Pro Bowler this year, but make him an All-Pro, a guy that can contend for a league MVP, like he was in 2022 and a solid 2024. And not, he's been a really good quarterback. It's just, the numbers tell people that he's not on that level. But you got to learn what you got to learn, and we'll see what happens. But I don't know yet. I mean, this team's always got all kinds of stuff. They always got finger pointing and all kinds of weirdness going on. But this is a strong enough organization they can overcome it, because there's a lot of teams that have issues and can never overcome it because they're not structured well. Teams like the Browns and the Raiders, like those teams. They're, Giants before John Harbaugh came here. Teams that just don't get it will keep repeating. But like you said, even though Sirianni can be a pain in the fucking ass, he is minorly the greatest Eagles coach of all time. He is 5 seasons, postseason all 5 years, double-digit wins the last 4 years, Super Bowl appearance in 2 of the last 3 years, not counting this season, past season, and a championship. So if you let him go, he'll get a job elsewhere pretty much within days just because of his resume. But like I said, but I feel the same way you feel, Matt, because Rich Kotite was another jackass kind of coach with a lesser success rate. He went to the Jets and he turned out to be a joke, like the Jets are. He never had a season worse with 7 wins. He goes there in 2 years, he only won 4 games. So, like I said, we'll see what happens here. But obviously, the thing is, what your scenario you're telling me is the Eagles have a great year. They're what they've been the last couple of years in the even era, where they have 12, 13 wins. They go to the playoffs, or they host an NFC title game, or they go to the Super Bowl and they lose that Super Bowl. Maybe that would be where they would let him go and then elevate him because he did a great job offensively. But I don't know. I just think that if this offense works better, and I have to assume it will, with creativity that we didn't have last year, the excuse would be the ceiling for this team is obviously a championship, but the bottom tier is another one and done postseason, or they miss the postseason altogether. Because I'll be honest with you, Matt, I think the Giants are going to be a threat next year. As much as you may not like Jim Harbaugh or whatever, he comes in that room, they have pieces all around. They just have to make a few adjustments. That team can win 10 to 12 games in 2026, at least.
Nah,
You might not believe it, but John Harbaugh's a better coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. You don't last 18 years in this league and you don't last 18 years in this league unless you're doing something good. So,
I mean, he's a good coach, but I'm not too impressed with some of these hires he made. I forget who he brought in now as his coordinators. They weren't that good. Did he bring in Gannon?
the Tom Macklin thing really kind of messed him up a little bit, because that really messed him up, because apparently Cleveland kind of fucked up. They fucked up twice because they couldn't let him go. He was going to go up with John to New York, and that would have been good for Jackson Dart and him, because he's a really good offensive mind. But unfortunately, the Browns couldn't let him go and pissed off Jim Schwartz. So they couldn't let him go, and they still pissed off Jim Schwartz at the same time. Cleveland
Yeah, but
Browns.
who did he bring in as his coordinators, man? I forget. I was like, that wasn't too good.
Frank
For the
Reich.
Giants.
No, he went to the
Yeah.
Jets. He went to the Jets.
Oh, the Jets. No, who did he
Uh,
bring in, man?
I think he might have brought in Nagy. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. It was Nagy. I was like, oh, that's yeah. I mean, come on, man. Matt Nagy.
And Frank
And
Reich
then
went to New
I mean,
York to
we'll
the
see.
Jets.
Yeah. Well, that's a joke too, but that team's a joke. I mean, I think the Giants, just like always, man, they're just so overhyped because they're from New York again. I mean, Jackson Dart, he showed talent. He's as a fantasy player, he was really good. As a quarterback, he had a couple good games and some bad games, and he's injured constantly. The guy's in the concussion protocol every single game. Um, I get Cam Scadaboo, who's a big bruising back, but he's not long for this league with his running style, man. It's just the way it is. And we already saw him massive major injury. I mean, the rest of the team's a joke. They got Malik Neighbors. Yeah, he's
He's
going to
coming
be
off
a
a good
great
injury
player.
too, though. He's coming
He's
off an
coming off a
injury as
big
well.
injury, true, but he'll probably be all right. But to play to start the year, but still, I mean, that's all they got. And I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on Jackson Dart being some great quarterback. I mean, he looks like he can play. He's shown he can play when healthy, but he's constantly injured, and I think he's going to be pretty inconsistent in general. And that defense is a joke, and their offensive line's a joke. I mean, they're not going anywhere next year. Give me a break, man.
Well, remember, Brian Birds was second in the league in sacks this year.
Yeah. Hey, they got some guys that can get after the quarterback.
And Abdul
That's
Carter,
for sure.
even though we don't know what he really did this year, he might have LeVar Arrington syndrome, where he could be really good, but we don't know. Did get a lot of Rookie of the Year not Defensive Rookie of the Year notes, even though he didn't win the award this past week. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, bottom line for me with them, I mean, I get Harbaugh's a really good coach, and I mean, maybe he can build them up. But with what they got at coordinator, their offensive coordinator, I forget the defensive coordinator, but I wasn't too impressed with him either. I don't think. But either way, I mean, they're gonna have to rebuild the defense completely, other than a couple really good defensive linemen they got, which is a nice starting piece. And yeah, the offense, that offense is so going to be so overhyped. I don't see a
I
whole lot
wouldn't.
going on with that.
I wouldn't say it's overhyped. I just think it.
Oh, it is.
But
It
Scabrew.
was overhyped when right in the middle of the Scadaboo Jackson Dart thing, when they had one big game. I think it was the Eagles game, and
Yeah, the
everyone
Thursday
was
night
going
game.
berserk for him. Yeah, everyone was going berserk for him. Oh my
Yeah.
God, this is the future. It's like they're talented young players, but they're not great. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just okay. I mean, I don't see him being great. We're looking at 6 to 8 wins next year, I would say.
All right. Like I said, we'll have a preview show this summer, and we'll see what the adjustments. I mean, right now, I would not. There's pieces together, but obviously the finishing product won't be in for a few months, and we have to see how free agency and all that goes. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We agree to disagree, but I think it's going to be a little better than that. But we'll see. But anyway, like I said, we'll save that for Wednesday. But now we get to the big matchup, the the game in hand, the final game of the year, Super Bowl Sunday at in Santa Clara. It will start in the day because 6:30 start time, so it will be for at least the first half. It will be light outside, and two quarterbacks that nobody had on their bingo card being here. Drake May, the second year quarterback, um, was an MVP. Missed out on winning it, but a great year. I mean, obviously, criticism has been their schedule. They didn't play anybody, or they relatively didn't play anybody. I'm sure you'll have a take on that. And then on the other side, and an underrated defense, number 8 overall in the league this year, the Patriots defense. On the other side, the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, and maybe 2, 3 years ago, you and I would probably agree he's a bust. He's a joke. But somehow you just got to believe in yourself. He believed in himself. He never gave up on himself. And 2 years late and 3 years later, he is not only turned this thing around, surprisingly, he's playing in a Super Bowl. And he looks like a guy that can pull it off. To think that he would be a Super Bowl champion and maybe an MVP of the Super Bowl would not be on your bingo card 3 years ago. But gotta give a lot of credit to that team, Mike McDonald and Clint Kubiak and that organization. Defense is awesome, number 3 overall in the league this year. Uh, Jackson Smith-Njigba is the best receiver in the league this year, led the league in yards. So, like I said, this is an interesting Super Bowl that nobody could ever imagine. Seahawks and Patriots. Somebody might have had in their cards and they made money, but none of us had it in our predictions to start the year. So your thoughts on this game, because I know you have a lot to say about this matchup. Number one, are you going to even watch this game?
Well, yeah, right off the bat, man, this isn't a game that I'm really all that interested in as a Super Bowl. I got to wake up early Monday, so odds are I'll watch the first quarter, maybe the first half, but I'm not making a point of staying up to watch a game. Fuck that. Um, so beyond that, um, I don't buy into that bullshit that the Patriots didn't play anyone. They played some good teams. I mean, they had an easier schedule. The Eagles had an easier schedule 2 years ago and won the Super Bowl. It means nothing. And quite frankly, the Patriots rolled right through the playoffs for the most part. I mean, Denver was tough, but I mean, it's a game in Denver with crazy, crazy weather, and they pulled it out. That's all that matters. Um, Bottom line, they're a really good team, and Drake May really should have won the MVP. There's some there's some writer out there that he who did he vote as given number one um vote to? Some nobody. Nah, I can't remember. It wasn't a nobody, but it was a guy that had no business being like getting a number one vote for MVP. And I guess they said that with how close the MVP race was, that if it was Drake May that got the number one vote, regardless of what place the guy had him in, second, third, that it would have been a tie, or Drake May would have won the MVP voting outright. So he might have gotten screwed. I don't know who that guy would have had number one if he didn't make some ridiculous um, pick. Oh, it was Justin Herbert. He had Justin Herbert as his number one MVP vote.
Oh yeah, I heard about that yesterday.
Yeah, and it's like, and then he actually outed himself by trying to explain it, and it's like people like that shouldn't be allowed to vote anymore.
Hmm.
They should have it taken away, just like with the Hall of Fame. Anybody
Oh
who
man,
didn't
that's
vote for Belichick, they got to be under investigation and be taken away. I mean, so I've heard some people saying that Bill Polian was working the scenes to keep Belichick out of the Hall of Fame as a first ballot. So I mean, Bill Polian shouldn't have any business being around the league at that point anymore. They should just kick him out
allegedly
altogether.
him and Tony Dungy. Allegedly him and Tony Dungy.
Yeah, fuck those guys, man. They should both be like banned from well, I shouldn't say banned officially, but kind of blacklisted by the league from being like involved in anything at that point. That's just egregious. And anybody who actually like they need to like interview anybody that didn't vote for him, and they need to have a legitimate reason why they didn't vote for him for first ballot Hall of Fame. And it's not, oh well, I don't think he deserves it. No, like why? What did he not do that doesn't deserve to be first ballot Hall of Fame? No. So now I'm
They're
getting
going to
off
use
topic.
Spygate. You know the reason. Spygate and Deflategate. They're going to might do that for Tom Brady too. They're claiming the next
Yeah,
couple
well, I
years.
mean, bottom line, let's be real. The real reason is because a lot of these people are media members and they hated Belichick because didn't give him he didn't give him sound bites. Kind of made the job harder and talked down to him. But um, but yeah, I'm getting off topic with that. But yeah. So anyway, this game, I'm not too pumped up for it, but whatever. Yeah, Sam Darnold, this is his chance, man. This is going to be his one chance, I should say, because Clint Kubiak's gone after this year. We'll see who they get to replace him, but Clint Kubiak has shown that he really took that offense to a new level. And yeah, Darnold, I mean, it's kind of the same system Darnold was in Minnesota last year too. So maybe they'll hire somebody that can keep the system going. But this is their year. This is their one chance. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's been phenomenal. He's really the MVP of that offense. Let's be real. He's the only player they got. Well, I shouldn't say the only player. They do have Ken Walker, who's a nice running back too, but that's it. I mean, Darnold's being carried really by JSN all year, and help them, man. Obviously, they've been carried by that defense, which is phenomenal. You know, um, so it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough game for New England, but Seattle doesn't have the friendly confines of that bullshit stadium that they got built there. Because let's be real, it's the stadium's so loud because of how it's designed. It's not necessarily because the crowd's like so much louder than everybody else in the NFL. They designed it's like a fucking it's like it's the sounds are so amplified in there. So yeah, this is their chance. But they don't have that. They're not going to have that home field advantage like they've had in the playoffs. Um, New England, meanwhile, they got well. I should say I'm going to name him co-MVP. I'm not saying he should be the MVP because Matt Stafford was so good too, but he was just as good and he carried that team. Drake May, the defense, like you said, it's underrated. It's not great. It's not bad. It's good. It's underrated. I don't think they get a lot of props, but they're good. And I mean, this is just a typical um, Patriots team. They got a really good defense that is underrated. They got a offense with a top-notch quarterback and a bunch of no-name, I shouldn't say no-name guys, but no real stars at this point. Stephon
Well,
Diggs was a
they got
superstar at one
Stephon.
point.
They got Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but he's not what I mean. He's good. He's been good this year overall, but he's not what he's
Yeah,
was a few years
he's not
ago
in his
when he was
prime
in the
anymore.
league.
He's not in his prime anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, okay, so they have Diggs and he's a name, but he's not the superstar player that he once was. So it's kind of same thing with the Patriots that we've seen the Patriots way. They build the team around the quarterback, get some decent but not amazing players around him, and let him do his thing and have a good defense. And we'll see if Drake May can follow in the footsteps of Brady and win a Super Bowl year two here. Um, to me, man, I like the Patriots in this game. I think that one thing that we've seen with the Seattle defense, as good as it is, we've seen them get beat. Okay, I mean, we just saw them get beat bad in the NFC Championship game. That was pretty much like a shootout. And Darnold came up big. I'll give him credit. He came up big in that game. I didn't think he would. Um, but I don't think he's going to do it two times in a row. I don't think he's going to do it against the Patriots. I mean, the Patriots that they're going to be prepared. They're going to come. They're going to be play tough D. You're not going to just beat them. And one thing that they do, the way the Patriots run their defense, they're going to take away your best player, which is JSN. So do I really think that Sam Darnold is gonna, if I should say, if the Patriots are successful doing it, do I think Sam Darnold is gonna just win them that game without JSN being like going through 10 receptions and 150 yards and two touchdowns? No, no chance. Um, and I do think May's going to have a good game. He might not go crazy. They might not drop 40 points or anything like that, but I think they're going to put up some points on that Seattle defense. So I'm going to go with New England here, and I'm going to put the final score at you know what they're going to most likely, no matter what happens, regardless who wins and who loses. Unless it's just like a complete blowout like last year's Super Bowl, the rest are going to do what they can to keep the game close because that's what the NFL wants. So let's go with the final score of 27-24, New England. Although I think if the refs don't keep it close, I think it could be 27 20, maybe even 27-17. I could see.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is not a sexy matchup. It will not, and I don't think it's going to get the viewership that our game last year was the biggest viewership in history. But I just think that was more haters versus all these stuff. Philly, we come big and all that. Kansas City, obviously a dynasty, and we're. I mean, if we get back to the Super Bowl and we win it next year, it'll be a mini dynasty, which would be nice for Philly. But this is not a superstar matchup. These are teams that just worked hard all year. Now, with Seattle, I mean, like I said, I know you're not a Sam Darnold fan. This is probably the nicest you've ever been to Sam Darnold ever in our history talking about him. But Sam Darnold had to grow balls this year because it was the same old after last year when he went to after Minnesota. He had that great year, more of a tease to what he did this year in Seattle because now he's here. He's their guy for moving forward for at least the next couple of years, and he needed to grow. He needed to grow a set. I mean, like I said, he had to win those hard games at the end of the year. A tough division as the NFC West was. 12 wins, finished third in this division this year. 12 wins, finished third. That's insane. But you got to give a lot of credit to him in Seattle. They won. They had to beat the Rams in that Thursday night game. They had to beat the 49ers ironically in Santa Clara to get the 1 seed and home field advantage. Then they had to play the 49ers again, obliterated them 41-6, and then you had to play a shootout with Matt Stafford, the league MVP. So yeah, it was not easy for Seattle. They had to scratch and claw, but give them a lot of credit. This is a really good defense. Klim Kubiak is proven to be a really good offensive guy, and he's gonna. And like I said, we'll see what he does with the Raiders. But hey, he did a good job this year. He's really he did a very good job, and Sam Darnold should be respected for that, for the job he did to turn this around. Now, New England, I mean, look, I'm a big homer for obviously for Mike Vrabel, but they might be the luckiest team to be here in years. I mean, let's be honest. Week 5, they played the Bills. They don't win that game, they're not here. And the season might projectly went differently. It's weird because when I think about that Week 5 game and that Sunday night game, how different if they lost that game would have went for the rest of the year. And then they just got lucky and lucky and lucky from there on out. They caught every break you need to get here. They're like the 0-1 version of the Patriots. You remember that team? They were okay. They were like this team. They were decent, but they weren't like flashy. They weren't flashy or anything. I mean, you had a young Tom Brady, but he wasn't in his prime yet. I'll even say this: he wasn't in his prime when we played him in 2004. It was about right after that he became Tom Brady. But this was a defensive-minded team with a good enough offense. And hey, Josh McDaniels, man, he won Assistant Coach of the Year. Drake Mayberry thanked Josh McDaniels because if he won the award, if he didn't thank him, I would cuss him out. Because number one, Josh McDaniels must be a very good offensive coach. Not a great head coach, we know that, but he knows how to work with quarterbacks, and he knows how to put the offense, put them in good situations, and here they are. But like I said, they played the playoffs. Justin Herbert sucks in the postseason, as we all know. They've made coaching changes there too. They they get lucky in with bad all line. C.J. Stroud throws 4 interceptions in the first half. By the way, he cut his hair, so he's going to be a different C.J. Stroud this year. He's changing his look, and hopefully they'll change their way. But kind of the blame there, and then not playing Bo Nix, playing what you would call it, that just Jarrett Stidham, and then a blizzard shows up when it's like been 60 degrees more often than that this year. They've had more 60-degree days in Denver than snow this winter. So, yeah. I don't know how to deal with the New England. It's just a lucky team this year. And here's the thing. I mean, these two teams are similar too. Both lost their opening games at home in week 1. Both were 1-2 after week 3. And since then, they've only lost 2 games combined. They've only lost one other game since their 1-2 start. So these teams are very, very, very similar. Very similar. And that makes it very interesting that this game is going to be a close game. Now, if you want to say the over-under is 45. I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. I just don't see this game being a blowout or anything else. The betting expert says you got to take Seattle because they're the better team, and I agree. But New England has been scruffing all year. They've been catching breaks all season. So where do I go here? This is going to be tough. You know what? Drake May's going to he could have another opportunity, but I think New England, they peaked a little early. I got a lot of love for Mike Vrabel. He also won Coach of the Year. Good for him. But I'll be real honest. Seattle might be destined with Darnold. Darnold had a lot of claw scratching for the career that he has had until a couple years ago. He's one of those quarterbacks that got out of a funk, and here he is on the biggest stage in a division rival's house that could win a championship. Something that we can forever know him as a Super Bowl champ. That doesn't mean he's going to be an elite quarterback or anything else, but we've seen less quarterbacks, even lesser than him, win championships. Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer, Hostetler. Can you put Mark Rippon? Would you put Sam Darnold ahead of them? I would. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Seattle here. They're the better team. Drake May's been sacked 15 times in this postseason. So and he has a shoulder injury. So he can't take a couple more sacks. So I'm going to go with Seattle here. I just think that something will happen at the end of this game that's going to give Seattle the edge. We'll see. So I'm going to go with Seattle, and the final score 24-20, and Sam Darnold's the league MVP, is the MVP of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm not buying the shoulder injury nonsense. I know the Patriots love to goof off with the injury report and all that. And
he did get sacked 15 times. He's been sacked this postseason. Think about that.
Yeah, hey man. I mean, that's true. But he also has legs.
Yeah, I know.
He can make plays with his legs too. So unlike Darnold, he can actually, get out of the pocket and do some stuff if he's under pressure.
So Drake May would be your MVP if you're picking the Patriots, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. nine times I shouldn't, I don't know. This is just me talking on my ass, but like 9 times out of 10, the quarterback is of the winning team is the MVP, you know. So unless you have like I don't know, say Darnold throws for 250 and 2 touchdowns, and you know JSN has 175 and 2 touchdowns, and they win. You know, then he'd obviously probably win MVP, but on something like that, it's going to be one of the quarterbacks.
All right, so you have any prop bets?
I don't have them in front of me now. I had that shit ready for Wednesday, and then didn't have it when you sent me a message that we could do it today. So, oh
Yeah.
well, we
Well,
could make something up.
I
We could
got,
make some
I might
shit
have
up
a
for you.
few. I have a possible few. I mean, well, of course, we all know like coin toss, or Gatorade shower. So,
Yeah.
but
Um,
here's a few prop bets. Here's one. Somebody disrupts the game on during like early and at some point in the game, some rowdy crowd comes, some rowdy fan gets on the field or somehow. Over
yeah, that's a
under with
no.
that.
I'd say no.
All right. Cardi B appears in the halftime show.
Uh, I I got no clue with that, man. I don't listen to her or Bad Bunny or any of these other people, so I got no idea about. I'm an old man, dude. I'm listening to like fucking 80s hair metal and stuff like
Oh,
that.
shit.
So,
Well, well, Matt, you're only 5 years older than me, man. You ain't that much older. I mean, we're getting up there. You're right, we're getting up there, but we're anyway.
yeah. Well, I'm out of the music scene, the young music scene, bro. It's not for
Yeah,
me.
I'm not. I don't like the hip hop today either. I don't like the hip hop today either. It's like bunch of bunch of guys, bunch of young bucks high as shit, running away from pussy and guns or something. But anyway, all right. Well, then like I said, we'll end it here. Then, like I said, Wednesday, Matt will join us. Our season finale show, 4 o'clock, will be our start time in Quakertown. The place is still unknown, but I think I know where I'm going to go. I know where we're going to go because we did a show once up there before, some shopping center or something. I'll do my research and I'll get back to y'all. I'll get back to you and then I'll let everybody else know at least by Monday where we'll do this at. But 4 o'clock, join myself, Shaft, Kenny with Robbie, maybe John Smith, probably not, but I'll ask. I'll see if somehow he can break through. But Matt gets to join us for the first time. I've seen Matt, but these guys haven't. So that should be a fun treat. Looking back on the season and what you think will happen in the off season, because you'll have your mock off season moves. Where will
Yeah, we'll have that for sure.
where AJ Brown's going to go? That's going to be the interesting, because a lot of rumors about him, and then there's still that Justin Jefferson trade possibility. Remember and I will have a reaction or overreaction off season edition, so get prepared for that. I do have an off season reaction overreaction to be prepared for, so be prepared for that,
Okay.
because
Okay.
that one could go sideways. That one could potentially go sideways. Well, there'll be one Eagles one, but there'll be some obviously. So that's on Wednesday. This Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Uh, so enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully, whoever y'all picked
How
will
you doing?
win. I am taking
Here.
bet
Okay, I got
tonight.
7 up.
What was
Yeah.
that? What was that?
Oh no, then you can ignore me. You can ignore me.
All right. Anyway, I was wondering. But anyway, I will be taking bets after dinner tonight. I'll be going out to eat, and then I will be taking some bets. And hopefully, I can see if I don't get screwed from there. But that's all we have for this episode. This is the last lookout of the season. We thank myself and a bunch of myself for the production and everything else. We'll do better next year. We will do definitely better next season. So that's all for this episode of The Lookout, our last one for 2025 season. We'll be back in September, and our final look back will be on Wednesday live. Matt will be there.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Trying. Yeah, that's okay. It's not. Yeah, I have one more bag. Do I need? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.